Recording now, and all of the town halls and the discussions that we've been having as a part of MODA with the Prevention Network are available on our YouTube channel, Organizing Together. So if you've missed any of the past meetings, you can go there and kind of get more up to date. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so probably what everyone else seen when you were first logging into MODA community is this page. And this kind of gives you a broad overview of what Organizing Together does and how we were founded. And you'll see here a list of the organizing team. And then also you'll see a bunch of different free courses. Obviously the Prevention Network is here. You will log in to have access. You can connect via your Facebook or LinkedIn account or create a whole new account. Once it's linked though, others obviously will be able to find you on Facebook and LinkedIn. Once you log in, you can find the news feed here. It's set up very similar to a Facebook group. The whole organization is a conglomeration of organizations across the board. So we provide services for-profit, nonprofit, and government agencies. So what you're going to find is a group of individuals from all of those types of organizations. And the goal of the platform is to get them coordinating and collaborating more. And so you'll see that there's different topics where people can find anything that's been posted on specific aspects of organizational development. You'll also automatically be given access to the Prevention Network space, and you'll see other spaces on the platform as well. Please feel free to join any of the others if you're interested in the topic and, or the organization that's holding space. So the Prevention Network space is just a complete copy of the entire network, but it's separate between you and the other organizations. So only people who do prevention work are in the Prevention Network space here. Here you'll be able to have access to your own personal feed specifically for the Prevention Network. So if you post something here, it'll only be seen by people within the network. If you post something in the other space, it'll be seen across organizations. Here you'll find featured posts that are important to the Prevention Network. You'll see that you're welcomed here. There's a database for all the different overdose data collection here. You'll see a little introduction to the space, what that means. You'll also see how to apply to get free naloxone from the state. You'll find the discovery page over here on the left, and what that is it shows you the top posts, so posts that are most engaged with other users. You'll see members near you. As a part of the platform, you can share your city name with us, and it will match you to members closest to you. So if you're ever looking for organizations in your area, you'll automatically be matched. And the way that you edit your profile is to click on the picture here. When you first log in and haven't uploaded a picture, you'll see something like what Susie Klein has right now. And we encourage you to update your profile, put in a photo of yourself, some information about your organization, city to help us better connect you with other organizations, and your personal links if you would like other people to connect with you across different platforms. You can also take a moment to introduce yourself, and when you introduce yourself, that'll be updated in the main group page, and people will get to know you better. So we encourage you to update your profile. This will also allow the Prevention Network to know what organizations are in Michigan, and so the more people we have on the platform, the better data that the Prevention Network can keep on what organizations are doing here in Michigan. And that's really important because before, we don't know how many overdose prevention organizations are in Michigan. We've heard numbers between 350 and 400, and we were able to identify, I think, a little over 150. So hopefully we'll be able to even better have an adequate picture of where these organizations are, what services they're providing, through this platform and through your guys' network. So back in the discovery page, you'll also see upcoming events. You can post any of your events, and if it's in a specific city, you can tag it with that city, and all of the organizers from that city will get a push notification either via email or via text message if they've downloaded the app. And you can also see members within your industry. So another question that you'll get in the profile is, what is your industry? This is used to better connect you guys. So you'll see here back in the main page under industries, you'll see people from a wide array of industries, not just prevention work. Now, if there's an industry that you would like us to add, please feel free to message us directly. We try to keep a robust topology, and we're always updating it too. So please let us know. We also have within the spaces the ability to be able to directly message everyone. So let's say you have a big event, you want to let everyone in the prevention network know, you can drop that information, and everyone will get a message through the platform, but also if they've signed up for it, they will get an email or a push notification via their phone, because you can download this as a mobile app. And you can do that by looking through your space settings, and you'll see there's a little place for you to enter your phone number. You can also message people individually, so if you know who you're looking for, or need to find someone, you can click on the membership and you can search through all of the members. And this will hopefully help you guys connect with one another more effectively, as we know it's been hard for organizations across the state to connect. So we're really hoping that this platform assists you with that. In addition to this kind of social connection and digital space that you have, you'll also have access to our course list. This will include MODA specific courses on evidence-based strategies that the CDC recommends. And you'll also start to see a couple other courses. Soon I'll be doing a GIS course for overdose prevention data. We have another one that will help you understand data and how to use it in an Excel spreadsheet. We have one that's going to be coming out on COVID and some tactics that are being used to prevent the spread of COVID by prevention organizations in the state. And then we'll also have another one on how to take care of yourself through this, because we want to make sure that all of the prevention organizers are doing self-care during this really trying time. And so you'll see with this, you'll also see you have access to our entire course list on OT. We're constantly updating it. So you'll see that there's ones on policy advocacy. Some of these aren't finished yet. So you'll see the right to the media, strategic nonviolence, monitoring and evaluation. These are our upcoming courses. But you'll find one on logo design, MailChimp, these types of things that are going to help scale your organization and make them more efficient. So if there are specific courses that you need for your organization that you're already an expert on and you need to host them somewhere so that your staff or volunteers can be trained, please let us know and you have access to creating your own course. And to make that more efficient and easier, we actually have a course on how to create courses. So you can go ahead and take that. And the courses, well, you can have a table of content, you can have an activity feed within the course. So if people want to ask questions, there's always an activity feed. I would love your feedback on any of the courses that we have, or if you have any questions, you can just go to the activity feed, post your question there, and one of our consultants will get back to you. So this is kind of just a brief overview. You can message everyone here. You can also find, if you look through our membership and look for hosts, you'll find OT staff that you can talk to. If you have any questions about organizational development, we're always here for you. So I'll also briefly go over how you can change your notification settings. I know that I get overwhelmed with a lot of emails all the time. So I went in and limited the amount of emails. What's great is you can completely turn off email updates, or you can just have a daily digest. So what this means is when you click this, you'll get one email a day instead of an email every time one of these actions happen within the platform, and it'll just update you once a day. So I really suggest that you go and you check on these settings and you choose them that you're most comfortable with, so that you're not overwhelmed with emails. The Mighty Networks has really helped us for pretty much any action you can make, you can turn it off and on. So if there's a specific action, for instance, I don't need to get an email every time someone likes one of my posts. So I've turned that off. You can also turn off and on push notifications on your phone. If you are more comfortable using an app and using your mobile device, I really suggest that you download our app. It will be helpful to you and you'll be able to stay more engaged. And we're hoping that this platform will help strengthen overdose prevention programming across the state. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions. Has everybody been able to log in? Have they had any problems going forward? Is this the first time you're hearing about the community? I would love to know more.
Hello,
Hi.
this is Leon from Unified HIV Health and Beyond, and this is my first time attending one of your town halls. I'm doing it because my boss asked me to do it, but I figure I need to try and stay abreast of everything that we're involved in with regards to prevention. So I'll need to play around with your platform and figure some things out. Ashley Shukite is the one that's leading our harm reduction efforts. So she'll be a person that will be, you'll hear and see a lot more of as you're moving forward. So how does one apply for the mini grants?
Yes, so the mini grant application is actually directly in the platform. So once you go ahead and log in and you make your, I'll share my screen again, you make your profile, you can go to courses, and then you'll see the mini grant application here, and this will provide you with a list of, what the purpose of the grant is, what the reporting requirements are, allowable and unallowable expenses. You'll kind of learn a little bit more about the criteria. If you need support or have more questions, this section will provide you an overview about how you might be able to build capacity within your organization. We also offer support sessions that you can go ahead and set up an appointment for an hour one-on-one support if you have questions about this or any other aspect of your organizational development. And then all the application materials are here. And then once you submit it, you just submit it to HARA via the platform. And we try to make it as accessible as possible. So if you have any other problems and you need to, submit it in a different way, just let us know.
Okay, thank you. If a grant is given, are we able to buy syringes with those monies?
I'll let Hara or Amy take one of those.
Yeah, so we'll support a syringe service program. For actual syringes, we would ask you to go to can't remember his exact name, and maybe Amy can help me out because I'm blanking out, but we'd ask you to go to the state and they would provide you with the actual syringes. But we would support the development of a program, but not the actual purchase of the syringes.
Okay, so MDHHS will provide the syringes.
Let me put the there's 49 service programs in Michigan, and so we would ask you to work with the viral hepatitis program at the state. And I can I think I can go probably into the chat and provide that link. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and if you have any other follow-up questions about allowable and unallowable expenses, feel free to email me. I'll share my email in here. And are you on the platform already? If not, I can get your email and send you an invite.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you want to
I've
just share your
also
email in the chat.
put the website in the chat, which will have a list of allowable and unallowable expenses as well, and other questions that we have answered.
Okay.
You can check that out too. It might be able to help a few other questions you may have.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia.
You're welcome.
So I just dropped that link in there. Do you want to talk a little bit more about your interest in the syringe service programs, or you want to take a look at the links and then follow up from there?
I'll take a look at the links and follow up from there.
I just dropped it in the Zoom chat group box.
Okay.
Great. And then one other aspect that we have been working on for the dashboard is a map. So you'll soon be able to find a link that will connect you with a map, and you'll be able to search through programs and submit information about new organizations directly via that map. So hopefully that'll be helpful to everyone searching for programs, and the state will have an adequate understanding of what organizations are where and where they could potentially reallocate resources.
Charla, I wonder if you would be willing to talk about the consultancy hours that are available still through the end of August. I would really like agencies to take advantage of that opportunity if they have the time between now and August.
Yeah, of course. So me and another consultant, Katie Van Horn, we both specialize in facilitation and strategic planning, but she also specializes in financial management. So for instance, in addition to being able to sign up for a support session and us help you with the application, we also are here to provide you with any kind of directional support. So let's say you're working on a different grant and you're interested in having somebody kind of look over the proposal. You're more than welcome to send me the proposal and sign up for one of those support sessions, and we can walk through it for that hour. If you need some help with MailChimp or with Canva, please sign up for a support session. I teach classes. OT is actually a Canva official partner, and we teach classes for them, so we can help you within that hour and set you up with an account and teach you and provide you with a brief tutorial. We also have a bunch of different templates. So if you go to, I'll share my screen again. If you go to otconsultancy.org, we have a list of our services, but we also provide templates. And so if you take a look at our templates list, we can also provide you with any of these templates for free during the support session and go over them with you. So please go ahead and take a look at that list. And if you take a look at kind of our services, so grant management, graphic design, spatial analysis, survey design, any of these topics, if you are struggling with these, we can help you and talk you through the process of doing it yourself. Our model is through experiential learning, and so we're very big on teaching institutions, and so we're here for you at any point to guide you through scaling your organization. So we have many hours still available until August 31st. You can go to the preventionnetwork.org/MODA and sign up for a support session there. There's also several links within the MODA grant course and in the prevention network where you can get more information on how to sign up for that. Are there any questions about that specifically and what type of support we might be able to offer you?
Would you mind going down through the list again? I saw grant writing. I was interested in some of the specific things that you had listed, just to
So we do grant management. We can help you through like the writing process, provide feedback in these sessions, but we also, if you're ever interested, we provide more thorough support as well, more than just 1 hour. And you don't necessarily need to limit yourself to 1 hour. Like, let's say it takes us 2 hours to go over what specific aspect of organizational development we're talking about. That's fine too. So you can go ahead and just make multiple sessions with us to get what you're looking to done. We do program evaluation. Again, I specialize in monitoring and evaluation. I've worked for the United Nations and World Learning. And then I run 2 nonprofits myself, and then including my business. So I'm fairly versed in all of the things that can go well and go wrong in this world of organizational development. And we also, let me go back to sharing. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen. So again, we have the grant management page. It'll tell you a little bit more about the services that we provide in grant management. We do graphic design. We use Canva. That's our partnered organization. They do amazing work. This shows you some of the designs that we've created. We do classes through this. We'll have a Canva class set up on the platform soon. Our courses, we just launched the platform at the end of February. So you'll see a lot of new course come out in the next few months. But you can also talk to us. I do spatial analysis. So let's say you, for instance, I've provided support to prevention organizations in rural communities in northern Michigan. They do a lot of work in schools, and they go to a lot of different schools that are spread out in a wide geography. And I'm helping to support them to create a mobile app that allows their youth to be able to pinpoint where they've dropped off flyers, where they've given out kind of wristbands and things to other students, so that they can evaluate where these actions are taking place and who did them, without having students, for instance, fill out a report and send it to them, once a month. They're doing it in real time. And then we set up a system to evaluate, so they can say they implemented X strategies in this area, and then they can try to tie it back to data on overdose prevention or substance abuse prevention. So we have some more information about what GIS is and kind of what type of mapping that we specialize in, which is called participatory mapping. We can lead communities into mapping neighborhoods, talking where maybe specific areas in the community where they believe there are drug issues can also be used. There's really, the possibilities here endless once you get more familiar with GIS technologies. We also do and specialize in survey design. Michael, who is our other consultant, has his PhD and focuses on environmental survey design, so it's environmental assessments. I have a PhD from the same program, and I specialize more in perception surveys and how perceptions interact with and change people's social norms. So if you're trying to get people to change their perspectives of substance abuse, we would help you with that type of survey design. So if you're interested in conducting your own survey analysis with your stakeholder groups, we can provide support for that. And then, we have those templates. So pretty much, if there's a new technology you're also interested in learning, more than likely we have access and have used it before. At one point, you'll see on the platform, there is a list of services that we provide and the prices. So there's a price guide for those services. And so you'll see a list of courses, training courses that we also help with. So if you're interested in learning, for instance, Basecamp, how to use PayPal and connect it to your website, Slack, Salesforce, even Facebook and Twitter, we provide several packages on helping to support organizations learn how to use social media. It's not intuitive, and there's so much to learn and so much to manage, and we try to make that as simple as possible by teaching you how to link all of your social media platforms together. so you're only posting to one space, which we actually worked with the Prevention Network to do that during this project, and I think that it's been really helpful to them. What do you think, Cara?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of come in and just say, even if you're not sure about a support session, I think it's really helpful, and Charlotte can maybe help you figure out some things that you can build capacity on. When she mentioned that she came onto the Prevention Network and saw that we were making individual posts for all of our social media, really quickly she connected us to Zapier, and now we're able to just make one post that goes to all of our social media channels, which is really nice. It definitely helps Nadia, I think, when she kind of does her outreach and things like that. So it's definitely streamlined a lot of our work. And like Charlotte said, social media isn't always intuitive. There's a lot of learning. And I've had to do that a lot. Even just Facebook ads, things like that. It's not always that easy to kind of learn. So if you're interested in doing any of that, I really support a session with Charlotte. And even like I said, if you're not sure about how you could build capacity, just having that meeting with Charla to kind of figure out ways to boost your capacity, even if it's not social media, maybe it's that surveying or something else. But I think those support sessions are really useful. And I really support taking advantage of those hours while you can, because they're usually paid for, but we paid for them for you guys. And so take advantage of that while you can, because I know that it's kind of hard to find things like that when it comes to nonprofits. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about that or want to get connected with Charla or are interested in that, I can share the Calendly link right now for her and Katie to sign up for those hours. And you'll see that they both specialize in different things. So you can kind of go look at what they specialize in, and that's on our website too, and figure out who you would want to schedule a meeting with.
So Charla, this is John Cronick.
Hi, John.
Hi. We're looking at schools, and they could be closed as possible as not, or be open part-time, so forth. So the time that we're spending in the classrooms are really going to be challenged, which says then what do we do instead, which there's no major social gatherings and so forth. Zoom meetings, they're kind of fun for the first 3.5 sessions, but then they get so I'm looking at, well, what prevention needs in my world is how do we enrich the Zoom or virtual experience so that people feel engaged, that they feel like they're really participating and stuff. Is that something that you have the background to address?
Yes, and I'm a certified community mediator, so I'm used to doing things in person and using Zoom, and I feel incredibly disconnected from the working groups that I have, and so I'm constantly learning new techniques, and I have some literature on that. There's been a lot of really good work that people have been doing. For instance, creating a way to participate via the chat section, have people answer questions in roundtables and be more open and focused. And it takes a lot, and we're trying to incorporate tools. For instance, you can share like your screen and use that as a board instead of like using a writing board. We've decided to invest in a pad so that we can draw while we're speaking with our team, because it's very, very difficult to kind of draw online, but we need that kind of visual learning anyways. I've also found like mind mapping to be really helpful, so when you can share your screen and use a mind map. And as you're extracting the knowledge from the group as to what actions and things to implement, you build it out. There are also several tools such as Basecamp and Trello that have been really helpful, and people can then create action plans together. But I do think that this is a huge need. And if people are interested, we could focus on doing a course specifically on that.
Okay, thank you.
I'll write that down, actually.
I wanted to ask, I know Hara was invited to observe a focus group that was conducted using Zoom and one other tool where they still had the sticky notes. I know I've been part of a facilitators guild, and there's been a lot of discussion about the difficulty of facilitation using these kinds of online tools. Hara, would you mind, I can't recall what the name of it was.
Yeah, and so it's called Miro, and I, like Amy said, I was able to listen in. I just wanted to see how an online focus group was going to work, you know, during this time and how they were going to do it. So I was just listening in to see how they were hosting it, and what they actually did was use this platform called Miro. It's Miro, and it's a sticky note kind of like online whiteboard. So what they had was have the participants go in there, and they had already set up the board with all the different questions, the different sections, categories, you know, games that they were going to play. And so the whiteboard was kind of, you know, like it started in one section and everybody was able to contribute, and then they kind of went along through like the work page that they had set up previously. And they were able to have everybody kind of contribute their own answers to that. It was really nice. They used that for all of it. Zoom was kind of just like the, you know, for talking and the background and to see each other, but they were using that platform for everything else. They had everybody engage on it, you know, do feedback. They had a facilitator, which I think was really nice, and I think that's really helpful. Somebody who just kind of takes on the online aspect of things and kind of helps people troubleshoot like the website. And then they had a speaker as well, separate to that. But I think that that Miro platform was really nice. And I was telling Amy and Charla, you're able to set timers on there, things like that. So it kind of gives you like you know, that platform. I mean, it's not the same as being in person, but it kind of gives you that interactive. You get to see people's, you know, thoughts and things, and they get to fill out worksheets. Like I said, if you have students, you could have your students fill out the worksheets all together, and kind of see their contribution on everything. And then, you know, the timers and stuff, that was always something that it reminded me of when I was in a high school class and we had 10 minutes to fill out our assignment. So it's things like that. And I think it's different, but it's nice to see that there is platforms that we can have kind of that interactive dialogue, and, you know, we can kind of see each other's work all in one space. And then after it was done, what was nice was that it sent you a highlights of your session. So after it was over, it sent me like a highlights of everything that happened, of the different sections and whatnot. So it was kind of like a summary of the session, which was also really nice. So I really recommend that. That was my first time ever seeing that platform, but I think it went really smoothly. And then Amy brought up the question, did anybody have any trouble using it? And people did have trouble, but they were able to troubleshoot it by sharing their Zoom screen. So anybody who couldn't get onto the platform could just look at Zoom and see what was happening, and then share in the chat box their answers. And then they had that facilitator, as I mentioned before, just taking those answers and then adding them to the whiteboard, if that kind of helps. So maybe checking out Miro and kind of getting used to platforms like that. I know Charla mentioned that there was other ones as well.
Yeah, and I just wrote down, I think I will put together a course on it. And try to get that out in the next week, because I can easily compile all of the resources that I've been putting together for OT, because we're also part of our work is to teach others how to be consultants. So this serves dual purpose for us to focus specifically on a course on facilitation using digital spaces.
Oh, that's a great idea. I just put the Miro link in the chat box. But can you, Charla, if I don't know if others had questions, go ahead, but I was going to ask, this is all really over my head. I don't like Slack and Basecamp and all that stuff. Would you mind just framing what is it called? Is it an app? What is it? How do you refer to it, and how does it help our work? Help me understand.
These are web-based software services. So services as a software. And so they're usually paid monthly. But luckily, a lot of these, including, for instance, Basecamp, Trello, a lot of them have free or discounted access for nonprofits. You'll have to provide your EIN, and potentially a copy of your letter of a tax exemption. But they're going to help you collaborate with others. And the goal for each of these platforms is to be able to plan activities and implement projects with people who are not close to you. So I've used a lot of these, for instance, to coordinate my international organization that I run when we have members from every continent of the world. And so these digital spaces are really important for us to kind of manage our to-do lists, which become quite extensive. And so usually they all interact and connect with your calendar so that you can automatically export events to your calendar and be reminded when your organization or your team is planning something. They'll have to-do lists, they'll have chats, something similar to like the OT network in a lot of ways, except some of them, instead of courses and teaching, they're more focused on managing and tracking. So creating like grant charts and things like that. So they're almost like a tool, just like Google Drive, so that everybody can participate in creating the documentation for the organization and what they're going to do in regards to implementing their strategic plan. And there are also, there are platforms for grant management, there are platforms. So if there's some process that you're doing paper-wise, I guarantee that there is a software service for you that will make your life a lot easier, especially now in the COVID world that we're living in, where we have to do things separate.
Right. I know one of the Wayne State University has safety teams that are run by their AmeriCorps members, and they all use Slack. So they download the app on their phone because they're not checking their email all the time. And so then they can coordinate, one group can go over here and do a training, or they can kind of collaborate. And they also use that for safety. Like if they're going out they always go out at least in pairs, but just to know where the teams are and how things are going and what time will they meet up, and, they can also schedule work, like assignments that way, based on what team is finishing up a safety intervention, and then, move on from there. So I know that's used. And then project management apps, we talked a little bit about that. How is that different than, say, Smartsheets or Microsoft Project Manager?
They're quite similar. You would have to do, you can just Google comparison. So let's say if you're used to using one software, for instance, Microsoft's project management software, you can actually Google Microsoft's project manager versus Basecamp, for instance. There is someone in the world who's already reviewed all these projects and provided extensive feedback on them. And so that's been very helpful for me when we're investigating every time I find a different platform, I add it to a list, and I try to review it myself. Some of them are great, some of them are not. I can provide you with my personal preferences, but I've found that personal preference for these platforms is often individual and very specific to organizations and their needs and their culture, and kind of what they've been using for a long time. It's usually very hard to move an organization from one platform to another once everyone's learned how to use it. So it's important to do a really in-depth comparison before deciding on just one platform, because moving later isn't probably going to be possible. Are there any other questions on any of the topics that we've talked about today? I know we went a little beyond just the MODA community discussion. All right, well, if you guys don't have any questions, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciated your time. As I said, you can get a hold of us in the platform through Messenger, and one of our consultants will get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you, Charla.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks for hosting this.
No problem.
Thanks. See you later, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.